I'm going to show you a few objects that were excavated earlier in 2006 at a site called Hatch Furong in Ewell. The site is on the edge of the Roman settlement at Ewell, on a spur of chalk overlying the village, and attention was drawn to the site because in the 19th century a whole series of shafts were discovered in the field adjacent, which is now the home base store. In a series of trenches that are excavated by volunteer teams and trainees, we found a whole array of Roman objects, and I'll show you a few of them now. What is sometimes found on Roman ritual sites is fossils that the Romans might have found in their fields while out ploughing, etc. And they would have been intrigued by these curiously shaped and marked stones. They wouldn't have known what they were, so it took on the appearances of a ritual object. At Hatch Furong, during the excavation of only a small area of the large site, we came across these 6 fossil sea urchins, all of one particular species, Holaster, and they're all native to the band of geology that passes through the site called the Thanet Sands. And it may well be significant that we found these at the site. It may mean that what we're dealing with is an array of ritual shafts. It's a site of ritual significance for the Romans. An intriguing discovery and unusual at Hatch Furong, because we weren't really expecting it, although perhaps we should have done, was the discovery of many struck flints from most trenches of the site. And the flints that we recovered range in date right through the whole of prehistory. I have here in front of me some blades and flakes of the Mesolithic period. That's 10,000 to 5,000 years ago, establishing the fact that probably in the vicinity of Hatch Furong there were hunter-gatherer camps. And we also have representative samples of later periods. This is a nice little Bronze Age scraper used for scraping hides, and that would have been about 2000 BC. But you also have evidence that they're actually making these tools in the vicinity of the site, because this is what we call a core from which they took all these little blades. They struck them off. So we've got a flint blade manufacturing site in the Hatch Furong area, as well as all the later Roman stuff. One of the most frequent find from Roman sites is the pottery. It's prolific, and it survives because, well, it doesn't rot away like wood and any other organic substance. Most of the pottery we found at Hatch Furong is broken into very small pieces, but this little vessel we found at the very top of the shaft, and we actually found it, if I can place it like that, upside down like that. And it's suspected that actually the plough, since it was deposited, has sort of chopped off the base of the pot. This was made in the Alice Holt Farnham area, which is a huge pottery manufacturing district on the borders of Surrey and Hampshire. And it's distinguished by the cordon at the neck and slight decoration on the shoulder, burnished decoration. It's an ordinary domestic vessel, but what it was doing in that pit we found on the site, we don't really know. Was it placed deliberately in the pit as some sort of offering, or was it merely discarded? We don't really know. One of the other attributes of Roman pottery is mortaria, mortars in other words. Never used before in Britain, these were big broad dishes that had grits applied to the inside surface, characteristic grits, and they helped the pestle grind the food down to a sort of mush, if you like, sort of porridgey consistency. And this is the base of one of them from the site that was actually made in the Oxford area, which was a huge pottery production centre on the hill above the modern city. Also made in the Oxford region was vessels like these, which is what we call an imitation Samian bowl, made from the 3rd century onwards. it's a sort of tableware, but what they were imitating were earlier forms made on the continent, such as these. This is proper Samian ware, nice, glossy and red, made in 3 production centres in what is now France and Germany. This one happens to be from what used to be Central Gaul, and you can see both the delicate trailed tendrils on the rim, plus an extra bonus is we have a fragment of the potter's stamp on the inside. Lots of these Samian forms had the potter's name stamped on them, so we can identify those potters and trace their history. So all in all, it was a worthwhile endeavour, and it's still got a lot of writing up on these finds to do, but I'm looking forward to stage 2 of the proceedings if they ever start. Stage 2 of the excavations at Hatch Furlong. I look forward to it.